Today I'm going to give you the trend, the metric, and the tool that you can use to make your application successful, to bring your ideas to life and show the world that you can change it. Are you with me? Are you ready to change something in the mobile industry? This uncomfortable moment, right? Are you with me? Are you ready to get started? Okay. Usually it comes like this. You got this brilliant idea, you nurture it, you dream about millions of downloads, about great ratings on the Google Play, you launch it to the stores, and suddenly nothing happens. You invest all your knowledge about performance, about best practices, about design into the application, but after launch, only frustration is coming. You look into your statistics, but after initial spike of the friends and family downloading your application, it just flat. And the moment until you cross your dream 10 million downloads, you'll probably get gray hair before it's gonna happen. So what you gonna do? Invest in the mobile advertisement? You know, like besides your applications, there are like more than 6,000 applications published every single day to Google Play Store alone. And you are competing with each of them. And if you decide to run mobile advertisement to buy your users, very soon you will find that actually buying users is quite expensive. Cost per install on the top tier markets like Canada and United States already crossed $4 per one install. And the trend doesn't look positive. If you look into the historical data, it's getting only worse and worse. Very soon, it's going to be not sustainable just to buy traffic. So what should you do? Abandon your idea? Give up on your dreams? I offer you a better option. Now, if we cannot buy users, if we cannot buy new users to the application, we can attract enough traffic, we should work on how we should keep users inside our application and make sure they are not leaving. Retention is working on the retention, working on improving your user experience is much better approach. But how you are going to do that? First, you have to understand where you are losing your users. You have to measure every single aspect of interaction with your application. You have to know where exactly your users get frustrated. You have to use analytics to find these moments of churn, of how I call it, what the hell is happening in the application moments. Churn is going to help you to figure out where exactly your users are losing, where exactly you are losing users in your application. Churn is going to show you where users get frustrated. For instance, do you know that you have only 3 to 5 seconds to make the first impression, to get user interested in your application? After those 3 to 5 seconds, users decide, am I going to use this application or am I going to uninstall it right away? And you know what? I see so many applications that do this over and over again without giving any value to me, without explaining what I'm going to get out of this application. You see the login wall. See, give me your credentials, give me part of your identity, and then maybe I'm going to show you what application is going to bring you. Don't do that. And churn analytics, those metrics are going to give you, point you right away that you are losing users exactly on this stage. According to data, if you're going to put login wall before giving any value to the developers, you're going to lose 86% of the users right away on the first screen. So make sure you are measuring all interactions in your application and you optimize, you improve it. Because it's very easy to improve that. We are developers, we know how to solve problems. Just give us a problem and we are going to solve that. For example, with this login wall, we can add social login buttons, we can implement auto logins through Google Smart Log. We can come up with tons and tons of improvements, but to find what to improve, you have to make sure you know where are the problems in your application. So measure and optimize parts of applications that need improvement. And here we come to the first trend in the industry. If 2 to 3 years ago everybody was talking about where should I get users, how am I going to lower the cost per install, marketers were just going crazy, like, I need this cheaper traffic, I need this better traffic. Now the influence on the app success is shifting to development. We developers are getting more and more responsibility on the app success. Marketers are not going to fix user experience. Product managers are not going to make your application crash-free. You and we developers are responsible more and more about application success, because retention is something that we can improve. And how we are going to measure success of your application? Like churn analytics is going to give us a good understanding on what to improve. But how to measure the entire success of application? The best metric I use for that is retention. Retention shows exactly how many users you are going to keep on every day after the users start using your application. Like, remember I mentioned about 86% drop after login. That's the best case, that's the worst case scenario. But in average, mobile applications are losing 65% of the users on the first day of usage. By the day 30, you are going to end up in a best case scenario with 14% of the users. Think about it. You invested $4 in every user that you acquired through advertisement. You acquired 100 users on the first day, and on the day 30, after 1 month of usage, you end up only with 14 users out of each 100. That's insane. That's a huge waste of money. Like, I believe you already did a calculation. If you want to get your dream 10 million of users with $4 per install, that number has a lot of zeros after the comma to buy all the traffic. But not all applications are like this. If you are going to look into the retention metrics for top applications, they are way better. On day 30, in average, top applications has 46% more users. That means you have, for every 100 users that you get on the day 0, you have, after 1 month, 46 extra users that you can show advertisement to, that you can sell in-app purchases to, that you can make your app actually successful, actually profitable, and return on your investments. Focus on the retention, because I believe that retention is the new metric of success. Retention is what people were going crazy about 3 years ago about cost per install. But why do people stick in your application? That's a topic for a separate application, but in one sentence you can summarize it as build value. If your application doesn't bring anything to your user, if user doesn't have a reason to get back, they are not going to use your application. They are not going to use any of your features, even though it doesn't matter how they polished. You have to bring value. You have to understand why users are getting back to your application. But everybody is doing that. And all the developers in Cluj, San Francisco, Amsterdam, they also know about value. So what will be your secret sauce? How you're going to get ahead? You know, we are social animals. From the early days of the history, our reptile brain was controlling all our decisions. And to give you a hint, just tell me, like, which notification you are more likely to open? The one that we probably saw hundreds of times on our phones, like, hey, get back to the application, we missed you so much. Or the one from your bro that are sending, like, hey, let's talk about this new idea in the application. Are you going to click on like very generic application, or the notification from your friend? From your friend one, right? We are social animals, and we as a developer should leverage this advantage just by understanding how we get addicted to the applications. Social is your new growth machine. Social, I believe, is the most basic human behavior and the most under-evaluated approach and a trick in your applications. Just to give you an example, I bet you saw Facebook integrations in tons of apps, right?
Okay.
Like Facebook login, sharing through Facebook. And you can say, hey, but a lot of people do social. But you know what? Everybody is doing that wrong. Because, right, everybody is sharing through Facebook, but recently we did a study. We did a study with Sega. You know this, like Sonic and the guy who is running on the different platforms, like the game from our childhood. We did a study with them, and we found that users use Facebook, users share invitations to the game, to the application, only in 1% of cases through Facebook. 1%. That means that if you did only Facebook integration to call your application social, or you did better, you integrated also Twitter, because that's popular social network, right? You are missing other 99% of the users. Can you imagine that? And social can improve not only your growth, but social improves your retention metrics. Recently, we did research on 4 years of historical data on our platform, and we found that if you are going to introduce the concept of friends in your game, and if the users that have at least one friend added, their average lifetime increases from 10 days to 26 days. Only one friend. And if user is going to add at least 3 friends, that number triples. You get extra 74 days of showing advertisement, selling up purchases, just by introducing friends mechanics in your application, just by pushing users to add more than 3 friends into the game. I believe we all signed up in Facebook and LinkedIn ages ago, but if you recall this way time before, what was the first thing that LinkedIn asked you to do? What was the first thing that Facebook asked you to do? Find your friends. Facebook, LinkedIn, all social networks figured that out long time ago. Now it's your time to bring this mechanic to your applications. And chatting has similar effects. If you allow, that's a different case study that we did with a game called Castle Cats. If you're going to add chatting features, if you add a basic ability to send messages for users to each other, you're going to increase day 30 retention by 7 times. So instead of 14 users that I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, you are going to get like way more users at the end, just by simply adding a way for people to talk. And social, like retention is one aspect of where social can help you. Another huge aspect is growth. I believe everybody is familiar with the case of Uber. Who's using Uber here? Is Uber actually popular in Romania? Looking at the audience, I believe that yes. Uber is just brilliant in social growth. Actually, Uber is the company who invented the term growth hacking. They were the pioneers and one of the brightest examples of how you can hack the user behavior to make your app more popular. And they use social very extensively. You also this promo code screen in your Uber application. Invite your friend, get extra $20 for you and your friend for a ride. Those kind of social mechanics are working better and better over the time. Because usually we don't like to share invitations, so like the things that we like, some game in the public, like in Twitter or Facebook. But if you will give users a chance to share it in a private channels, if you're going to give your users a chance to share invitations, if you're going to give users a chance to share the in-app content, like how did I destroy the world in one of the games, users are willing to share it with their close groups of friends, in private WhatsApp conversation, in the private Messenger conversations. Users like to share this in the private groups. And probably you know what is coming next. It also improves your retention. Social is your new growth machine. Social is something that can give you this so much needed competitive advantage. I believe this with everything that I have. So, being a better than 1,000 ideas. Being a better than 1,000 application is super hard, like very, very hard in today's state of market. But it's not impossible. And you are on the right track today. You are already ahead of the thousands of other Romanian developers because you woke up today early, you came at 9:30 to the conference, you got out of your comfort zone, you came here to learn something new, to meet new people, to get so much needed competitive advantage. You're already ahead of thousands of other developers. And today I gave you the trend, the metric, and the tool that I believe in. That's my current view on the state and the future of the mobile industry. But I don't want you to stop here. Your role, your responsibility is to figure out what will be next, what will be the next competitive advantage I can get, what is going to bring my ideas to life. It's your job and your responsibility. If you want to bring your ideas to life, if you want to make your dreams come true and get millions of downloads, great rating on the Google Play, you have to use the knowledge. You're on the right track as you came to DevTalks today. You're on the right track as you want to learn something new. And you know what? I believe that you are going to succeed. Thank you.